Coming up tonight, homicide number 69. Another young man is gunned down in the streets of the capital. Police are calling for an end to gun violence. Plus, major infrastructural upgrades underway in Eleuthera. The area MP assures it will address long-standing issues. And then, health officials reminding residents to stay on their P's and Q's. This as the Omicron variant of COVID cases identified. These stories and so much more as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. A 24-year-old man is dead tonight and 2 suspects are in custody. Police Press Liaison Chief Superintendent Christine Skippings recounting the details based on initial investigations. She says it was shortly after 7 p.m. Saturday night when officers at the East Street South Police Station heard gunshots emanating from Pinecrest Drive.
This is the street just at the rear of the police station. Officers immediately exited that station. They ran to the rear of the station where they observed a dark gray Nissan Cube fleeing the area at a high rate of speed. The officers immediately got into their private vehicle, which was parked at the rear of the station, and they pursued that vehicle onto Bamboo Boulevard, where the suspect's vehicle collided into another vehicle driven by a civilian. No one in that vehicle was injured.
The chief superintendent says the suspects immediately ran north onto Thatch Palm Avenue, but were closely chased by police. One suspect, a 25-year-old man, was immediately apprehended.
Second unit that was on saturation patrol in the immediate area, hearing the transmission from our police control room, also responded, and they joined in the pursuit of another suspect who was also on foot. That suspect produced a weapon, engaging officers, and he was shot. He was taken to the hospital where he remains. At present, his condition is unknown. Right now, we're actively searching for a third suspect that was involved in the incident tonight.
The second suspect is a 21-year-old man. Skippings adds that officers recovered a high-powered weapon, a handgun, ski masks, and gloves. Skipping says a third unit responded to the initial scene where the gunshots were first heard.
They discovered a male inside a red truck with multiple gunshot injuries. He succumbed to his injuries on scene. And so this matter is under active investigation. And so again, we're appealing to members of the public. We must, and I stress it, we must remove these firearms from the streets. They are killing our sons.
COVID-19 cases are said to be on the rise again, and Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville says they are closely watching the matter. Across the United States, health officials are reporting a COVID-19 summer wave, with gatherings turning into super spreader events. Dr. Darville says officials have identified the Omicron strain is spreading.
As it stands now, we're monitoring it. I don't think there's any need for the population to begin to panic. But you must be mindful and take charge of your own health. If you have a cough, cover your mouth when you cough. If you're not feeling well and you believe that you may have an upper respiratory tract infection, I think it'll be good not to go to work to spread it in your relative areas. And these are just things that we have learned during the pandemic that work very well for the Bahamian population.
Health officials are monitoring the pediatric group but have not seen any confirmed cases. The global pandemic saw the Princess Margaret Hospital bursting at the seams and in some instances unable to accommodate non-COVID related cases due to the surge. Dr. Darville assures the hospital is now in a position to handle confirmed cases.
Our modular units, which are permanent units now, have the ability to address COVID positive patients, as well as our legacy unit. And we have the necessary protocols so that our staff now have an area where there's less possible cross-contamination of cases. And that was the whole purpose for us to move for these modular units, both in New Providence at the Princess Margaret Hospital and the Rand Memorial Hospital.
Meantime, the Medical Association of the Bahamas is reminding you to stay on your P's and Q's when it comes to protecting yourself against COVID-19 and other influenza diseases. With the Ministry of Health and Wellness releasing several updates throughout the summer, warning residents to be on their guard. Our Joshua Williams also spoke to a medical doctor and has this report.
Doctors around the country are reminding residents to safeguard themselves even during the summer months. Doctors are still noticing an uptick in influenza-related sicknesses. Dr. Gemma Roll, a physician and president of the Medical Association of the Bahamas, says while viruses like COVID-19 may seem like a thing of the past, you're still at risk of being infected.
Yes, well, there are COVID cases that have been on the rise, just like in other years during the summertime. You tend to see an uptick in COVID cases. There are a number of persons who are hospitalized, whether it be for specifically COVID-related illness or COVID-19 just happens to be one of the things they're suffering from while in hospital.
The first cases were recorded in China in late 2019, eventually finding its way to the Bahamas in March of 2020. Now with the virus present for almost 5 years, why are persons still contracting the disease?
There's community COVID where patients are managing outside of the hospital and they're overcoming. This can be, well, we feel or we know that this is a result of herd immunity, right? So COVID is just like the flu. Every year or every season it comes around and we adjust accordingly. Patients who are admitted or having severe disease would be persons that are either elderly or have comorbidities. The typical comorbidities that have been mentioned ad nausea in the past.
And the advice from the healthcare system remains the same when it comes to safeguarding yourself from COVID-19 or any other viruses.
Safety measures, washing of hands, covering a cough, protecting your loved ones by trying to keep a safe distance if you know that you have COVID-19 or you suspect that you do.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks so much, Josh. Well, residents of Central and South Eleuthera can finally bid farewell to bumpy roads and potholes as an ambitious project has commenced to pave over 160 miles of road. The $160 million project carried out through a public-private partnership. Area Member of Parliament Clay Sweeting says the project aims to not only improve the way of life for residents, but also pump money into the island's economy.
We have New View and also Quick Fix Construction, who are local contractors. When I first met with Bahamas Striping and we spoke about this initiative, paving over 163 miles of roads, for me, one of the major thrusts of this was to ensure that the two local companies were able to feel a part of it, because there are people who live in Eleuthera, who work in Eleuthera, and money stays on the ground. So for me, that was a big part of this initiative.
Sweeting, who also serves as Minister for Works and Family Island Affairs, says the work will go beyond just paving, adding that it will also address the island's long-standing water disruption issues.
You have John Miller's and Bannerman Town, two settlements that hasn't had potable water ever. So a part of this initiative is to properly pipe water down to those two communities. Also, we also have gaps where if water goes off in Governors, they can't pump water to Rock Sound. So this will also connect all the settlements on Eleuthera. So if we have water issues, then we can help alleviate some of the burden off of some of the RO plants.
The project is spearheaded by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, a subsidiary company of Caribbean Pavement Solutions, along with two local subcontractors, Quick Fix and New View Construction. BSGC Executive Chairman Dominic Stirrup tells us the economic impact a project of this magnitude will have on the island.
What we're doing as a company, we're leaving millions of dollars in Eleuthera. And this is our business model moving forward. So as we get other opportunities, we would team up with other companies, behemoth companies, and leave millions of dollars on that particular island.
While in other news, United States President Joe Biden, in a letter released this afternoon, announcing that he will not seek re-election in the upcoming presidential race. In his official statement, he thanked the American people, Vice President Kamala Harris, and all those that have been working on his re-election campaign. He says, quote, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." End quote. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, Biden gave his full support and endorsement for Kamala Harris to be the nominee for the Democratic Party. Well, when Our News Weekend comes back from the break, supporting the next generation of creatives. Art Lucaya donating $10,000 to purchase art supplies for schools on Grand Bahama. Plus, the Rastafarian community in the Bahamas hosting several beach cleanup initiatives simultaneously on various islands. We've got the details when Our News Weekend returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Distinctive Bahamian arts and culture should be a vital part of Grand Bahama's tourism offering. That sentiment coming from a vice chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Sarah St. George, at a recent press conference. The GBPA sponsored Art Lucaya initiative, donating some $10,000 for art supplies to Grand Bahamian schools that participated in this year's art festival. St. George telling the press that now is the perfect time to get the groundwork set for enhancing creativity in light of the increased tourism numbers expected in the near future.
Over the next 12 to 18 to 24 months, there's going to be an explosion of tourism on this island, and it's going to come, that we know for sure, I hope it'll come from all areas, but we know it's going to come through the enormous volume of cruise ships and cruise ship passengers that will be coming to this island through the new Carnival Port, Celebration Key, and also through the expansion that's going to be happening at the existing harbour. So now we're going to see anything up to 2 to 3 to 4 million tourists a year coming to Grand Bahama, and that is huge.
The vice chairman also pointing out that the average age of modern cruise ship passengers is lower than it was historically. And now with more travelers in their 40s, many of them seek an immersive experience.
These tourists coming to our island are of an average age of 46. Now that's far younger than we sort of can imagine. And when you canvass those views and you canvass those 46-year-olds, what do they want? Well, they don't all want to lie around. They want to be immersed in a culture. They want an experience of the Bahamas. They want to be immersed in what we have to offer.
In less than 6 weeks, students will be back in the classrooms. With that being said, it's never too early for parents to purchase school uniforms, shoes, books, and other supplies. Well, to assist with the load this school year, the Rotary Clubs on Grand Bahama are partnering with resident Lyndon Lundy, preparing for their 2nd annual uniform drive. The distribution is all set for next month. Community Service Chair of the Rotary Club of Lucaya, Ainika Johnson, is asking residents to get involved.
The deadline for uniforms is July 31st, 2024, and our aim is to collect at least 1,000 full sets of uniforms. And guess what? If you don't have uniforms, we have another option for you. You can walk in 2 parts uniform, put some money on our account, send us a photo of the receipt, and we'll use that to provide vouchers. John West is also, through the Rotary Club of Grand Bahama, allowing us to have 50 gift certificates for shoes at a value to be advised. So we encourage every parent that has a child that can no longer use their uniform or have new uniform pieces that have never been used to donate them.
Lundy shares why he is passionate about giving back to the community.
I too were one of those students that were younger. When I was younger, had one set of uniform that I had to use for school, and I had to wash that every day. So I know the issues and the challenges I have for parents. So that's why I'm pleading to you to let's help one another. Each one can help one.
The Rastafarian community in the Bahamas taking time out this week to clean up their local community. The House of Rastafari partnered with Let's Do It World, the founders of World Cleanup Day. The cleanup happening on various islands, including here in the capital, through Palma Street, where the Nyabingi tribe is located, Preacher's Cave in Eleuthera, and Williamstown Beach in Grand Bahama. Here is acting chairman of the House of Rastafari, Copeland Smith.
We just felt it was important to give back to the community and clean up an area that, we live and work and move through on a daily basis. I think it's the responsibility of every citizen to keep their doorstep clean as well as the community clean, and that will, keep the nation clean. The government can do their part and, do beautification programs and projects, but each citizen has to do their part and, assist to make it happen.
Still to come on Our News Weekend, a look at temperatures across the archipelago with meteorologist Ian McKenzie. But first,
we see what Jonquil Jones got up to at the WNBA All-Star Game next on Our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adley, and we're back with Our Sports Weekend. The USA national women's basketball team may be the nation's best in any international team sport. Jonquil Jones and the team of WNBA All-Stars did not care about any of that last night. We'll see what went down. JJ and the team of WNBA All-Stars delivered a shocking 117-109 defeat to Team USA last night. Playing in her fifth All-Star game, she had 6.7 rebounds and 5 assists. Arike Agumbawale led the charge for the WNBA All-Stars. She went absolutely gangbusters, scoring for 21 points in the third quarter en route to an All-Star record 34 points to claim the MVP. Now we're going to take a look around the Bahamian sports landscape to see what transpired last night. We start off in Japan. We introduced you to martial artist Christian Delaveau last year. Yesterday, he placed second overall in the men's 35 to 40-year-old division in the Shinkyushin style in Japan's national martial arts tournament. The girls and boys under-15 soccer team continued their matches against OTF Academy in New Providence. Unfortunately for the 2-4-2, OTF swept the day with the girls falling 5-1 and the boys losing 3-1. And finally, Jazz Chisholm's Marlins and Anton Richardson's Mets continued their series in Miami, with the Mets coming out with the 1-0 win. Their series continues this evening. That's a wrap for sports on this beautiful Sunday evening. For Our Sports Weekend, I'm Tej Adley.
Thanks so much, Tej. Well, when we come back from the break, if you've been craving something different in the local music scene, well, we've got the details on the newest music festival set for August 10th. Stick with us for the details. Welcome back. Well, it's that time of the weekend to prepare for the work week ahead. And to help you get started, weather-wise, meteorologist Ian McKenzie joins us now from the Weather Center. Ian.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Sunday evening forecast. We're currently outside our studios on the cloudy skies with a temperature of 84. Feels like still sweltering at 93. Winds are from the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour. Current temperatures across the country. In Freeport, we have 85 also in Marsh Harbor, 83 in Great Harbor Key and Governor's Harbor in the real cool temperatures, 84s in Allenstown, Nicholstown, and in the capital. In the central Bahamas, we have 84 in Camp Space, as well as Georgetown, Deadman's Key, and in Coburn Town, San Salvador, 82 in Arthurstown, Kidd Island. In the southeast Bahamas, we have 85s in Duncantown, Delectable Bay, Colonel Hill as well, 86 in Matthewtown and Providenciales, 84 in Abrahams Bay, Mayaguana. First look now at our satellite and radar imagery where we have a plume of moisture. This is associated with two features. We have a surface trough in the vicinity of the northwest Bahamas, coupled with an upper level low pressure system. These systems combined are continuing to produce some disturbed weather across our area. They should persist through tomorrow. Boating forecast, stiff winds out there in the northwest Bahamas. We're looking at a caution in place for you boaters. Wind southeasterly 10 to 15, seas 2 to 4, but up to 6 feet offshore. High tide at 8:48 p.m., low tide at 3:17 a.m. tomorrow morning. In the central and southeast Bahamas, winds a tad bit stiffer. Small craft advisory in place, winds easterly 15 to 25, seas 4 to 6, but up to 8 feet offshore in those easterly swells. Extended forecast, moisture hanging around through Monday, clearing through midweek. We expect showers pop up again on Thursday and into the weekend. Those highs hanging around the low 90s, with your lows hovering in the low 80s. Stay hydrated, folks. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Well, if you've been scrolling on social media sites like Facebook or Instagram recently, you've probably seen flyers promoting an upcoming music festival. Brought to you by Primetime and Ram Promotions, Crave Music Festival is scheduled for August 10th and features local artists and international performers. Jade Knowles, Public Relations Officer with the event, tells us more.
So we have our international artists, which we call our dancehall artists, is Jada Kingdom and Skang, very much well known to our younger crowd and older crowd and such. But we have our very own as well, Julian Believe, Blotty, Nishi LS. When I tell you this is a festival that's going to bring the diversity in music, I don't think you would want to miss this, because we know what our guys do, but to hear the international come together, it's crazy. And we also have the Pawn Band playing for like a while. So come out and definitely just enjoy the experience.
The festival will also showcase various DJs, including special guest appearances from Miami DJs. And with a full slate expected, Knowles is advising attendees to be on time and cautions that if you're not, you may just miss your favorite performer.
So gates open at 4 p.m. and we are stressing to come at 4 p.m. Notice what I said. This is a festival. This is not just a concert. So you want to come and explore what arts we have in the Bahamas, the music that we have, just the entertainment in itself. There's going to be food. There's going to be so much activities going on. So don't come dress up late. And it is a very summer casual type of event. So you don't need to put on your heels. You don't need to get all completely dolled up. There's coolers. It's a fun day.
Sounds like a great time. Thank you so much for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. Have a safe and wonderful evening.